Who's here? Spirit Nighter, Kalios, Lump, PCU, Bellhound, Harmonic Minor, the Cat, Chaos, Kalios. She's drowning. Okay, I'm fine.
Alright, I'm fine. Hello, Mango Tango. My birthday is approaching in a couple of days. Happy almost birthday! I hope you have a fantastic time. How's everyone doing? I like the fact that Michael Myers is in that poster. Yeah, Michael Myers is one of Maple's many boyfriends. So, you know, I got her that for Halloween / birthday / anniversary, because, you know, she has all those things together in October because that's like her favorite month of the year. And I really like when people get their friends like these little art pieces that are like them taking selfies. So I requested that, but like with Michael Myers because she loves Michael Myers. And yeah, she's scared of horror. She's scared of horror games in particular. She's apparently pretty good with horror movies. She can fix him, truly. Do we consider Sonic News possible? Yeah, I saw the announcements. I saw the Sonic Central thing the other day. I haven't seen the. I still need to see the Dark Beginnings, Shadow chapter thingy first. I'll probably try to watch it today with my sister. I've been busy with other things, so I kind of forgot about it. But once I get my sister, I will probably watch it on YouTube on the TV. I'm very excited for it. The animation looks so good. It truly is her month, truly. I think your heart rate got higher than hers yesterday. That's probably just me having a generally higher heart rate than her. I didn't... Like, my heart rate usually sits between like 80 to 90. Sometimes during extreme, I guess, because like I'm moving around and talking and whatnot, it gets to like 100. And it usually kind of stays there. Maple seems to be a bit lower. Remember, people, everyone has different heart rates. And yeah, I guess Friday is almost upon us. I am also excited. Luckily, it will be after. It should be after I return from my trip, so we should be good to go as soon as it drops. Hello, Irma. Are you playing either Amnesia, Dark Descent, or Resident Evil Remake except for 4? Oh, Amnesia is so good. Amnesia is a classic. The first one, the original one, the Dark Descent. That's a classic. I really love frictional games. So I'm excited. I need to play Amnesia the Bunker. Maybe I'll see if I can fit it this month. I'm doing so many things, but I'll try to fit it like I'll try to fit at least a few horror games during October. But like with the Nevercloud event and such, and the Gears Frontline event, we'll see how much I can do, but I'll try to fix a few. And now with like I started Tales of Anticia with Coco. It should release in December, yeah, and iOS. If you check iOS, thank you Apple for always leaking dates. On iOS it said like December 3rd. So I think it said December 5 for Korea, but like I guess it'll be like in between those days. Many projects today? Okay, no problem. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for dropping by for my yapping always. Me, as much as you want to, I don't really need another gacha to keep up with. Also me, 646 trailer for Girls Frontline 2. Yeah. Yeah, she will bring you back. She will break into your house and drag you into Girls Frontline 2. But yeah, Amnesia is a classic. It's like a long-standing classic horror game. Oh yeah, it is being talked about by some gacha content creators. I guess all the booba ass and feed posting worked to to get the attention of some people out there. We love yapping in this house. I'm gonna pin that. Thank you. But yeah, I love Amnesia. I think Amnesia and Soma are the games that finally finished like altering my brain chemistry, and now I'm not scared of horror games anymore. Because when I played Amnesia, I was terrified. I tried starting that game 3 times, and the first 2 I failed. I couldn't continue. Okay, kinda rad. But yeah, that's why I was kind of disappointed with Amnesia. The one they released before the Bunker. But the Bunker looks great. I'm looking forward to that one. But they released like the other one about like this lady lost in the desert. Some of the OGs might remember that I started streaming that at one point, but then I dropped it because I was bored. So prominent that a certain gacha hate train form had a huge conspiracy theory about how Girls Frontline 2 is a psyop. Oh, yeah, I think I saw something about it. I didn't read much into it because I've been focusing on other things, but I saw something about like some people being like, oh no, it's a psyop or something. I don't know, crazy people. For something like Bronny and Mika, where she's everywhere, truly. Except she is the same one. She's the same 416 that somehow manages to break into every game. She literally broke into NeuroCloud. Almost brought the server down with her, but here she is. I played the OG Dead Space one and it still scares me. Oh, I want to play the remake. I've heard very good things about the remake. Apparently I've heard it's very faithful to the original. Because that's another game that I could not start back in the day. Like I had it for free because I had Xbox Live. But like I saw it and I couldn't. But now I am different. Now I am stronger. My friend bragged that she beats Amnesia to know it's an Otome game, not the horror. Oh yeah, there's an Otome game called Amnesia, isn't there? I always get confused sometimes also when people talk like about Amnesia and I'm like, what? Amnesia Dark Descent? No, they're talking about the anime one. Hey, Neko! Been playing Space Marines just now it cures all horror, trust. Here's funny community not doing anything and still winning real. What's a psyop? I don't know, there's some forums to say something about Gears Frontline 2 being a psyop or something. Like, I don't know the details, but like, you know, just some crazy conspiracy theory. Like, it's absolutely insane. Hello, Panzer. They're running out of tinfoil hats, real. A laundry money scheme I can get behind, but a psyop, that's a new one, yeah. Oh, gacha psyops to get your wallet? I mean, true. But I mean, true. People on the internet posting crazy conspiracy theories, impossible. What's a psyop girls rolling to? Let me look at the tweet. Who posted it? Was it Claysta or was it Seiya? People post conspiracy theories like people post memes. It is omnipresent and without fail, truly. Tell them to stop drinking the funny Kool-Aid. You saw... Oh. Speaking of though, I saw why some people were getting different publishers in the Android store. Players in the US, Canada, and Australia is getting the publisher Dark Winter, aka Mika. While players elsewhere are getting the publisher How Play, a subsidiary of XD publisher for reverse collabs. Oh, that's interesting. Oh wait, some players put a forward. Can I steal this for my... Oh wait, but this is mostly about the game tutorials. Not a... I mean, it's still good to have. I can also share it. It's not about the lore. Oh, let's retweet that. Repost. Let's call repost now. I hate it. Thanks, Twitter crew. Yeah, I forgot. I had the thing ready to send, and I forgot to send it. And then I went to look at Twitter, and I was like, oh. Yeah, I don't think it was Seiya. It might have been Clay. I think it was Claysta. Claysta Celeste. I've never called an X ever. I love how when you get like official announcements or mail or stuff from like games or whatever, or like when you read news, everyone still says like X, formerly Twitter. Like still, nobody just calls it X. X, formerly Twitter. Like, I'm pretty sure they call it X just because they're probably required to by legal things, whatever. Girlfriend is gonna have both a PC client and a mobile client. Yeah, Girlfriend 2, yeah. Yeah. It has it's gonna be on Android, iOS, and PC. And they just called it repost and posting because, like, how else were you gonna call it? Like re-X, Xing? Like what the fuck kind of a stupid name is this? Who had? Oh, here. Some next level schizo about Curse for Online 2. Apparently, it's from. Is it the one from like the Chinese Genshin forums or something? I mean, I read this, but I didn't really get it. Tapping says it's easier, but again, Twitter. I was confused how many T's are in Twitter. It's 2 T's for the second one, and that's it. That is some. I seen some people that just write like TWT. The genius of renaming your established brand of a decade to the most generic thing ever. I'll never get it, truly. Marketing is a dangerous art. Thankfully, most people suck at it. Genshin Leaks forum supposedly run by Genshin haters in CN. Yeah, that is insane to me. It's like Genshin Leaks run by Genshin haters. Why do they, if they hate the game, why do they dedicate so much time to it? It's insane behavior, I tell you. And apparently it was something with like oh, okay, now I get it. I'm gonna read this. Genshin doesn't look like it came to us in a dream. I don't understand the power of spite. Okay, but like they're just crazy, you know. They could be doing so much more things with their lives. You're like Kate Watchers, your #1 viewer, constantly sending paid messages. The same recent game drawn is made of Sonic for a decade despite hiding the franchise. Easy bait and mod for money, true. But I mean, game journalists have really fell off in these past few years. They just grab onto anything and like make an article out of it somehow. Remember the boycott or try to pull? Oh, and Genshin? Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, I do support the idea that, you know, that if Genshin is taken from like these very obvious real cultures, if they're taking inspiration from it, they should respect the people of those cultures a little more. But yeah, that boycott wasn't going to go anywhere. Everybody knew it. And they're still playing, and they were like, "Why are you boycotting?" I mean, like, "No, I'm free to play." Like, wow. Then you don't care as much as you say. Clearly, you're not bothered by it as much as you're claiming to be if you're still playing. Hate watchers are a unique bunch. I hate you so much. He's 100 proving how much I hate you. Who's gonna send me a super chat saying how much they hate me? Send me $100. My strongest hater. Yeah, they're contradicting themselves. But yeah, okay, now not the dumbest boycotting campaign I have ever heard of. It's called hypocrisy. Truly real. I honestly still don't get why Genshin is so popular. Like, I've been playing it. Like, I went back to it because I want to get to Fontaine. My sister tells me it's good. And there's like some characters I like that I want to see in main story. Like Furina and now Kinnick. And Natlan. But yeah, the writing's still so mid. And like, it has good plot. The worst part is like, yeah, people will say like, "Oh, the lore is so deep." And like, yeah, it actually is. It actually has like good lore if you start like looking into it. But the execution of it, the writing, is so poor. So it's mid at the best of times. It's like, how do people genuinely enjoy this? Yeah, it did release at the start of lockdown. Like, yeah, that clearly push into their initial success, but I'm just shocked that people still, you know, that it's still so big. It has decreased a little bit though, I think, as the lockdown ended, as it happened for many games. I played and got one OP1, which was Kazuha. I will say Johanna, but Google doesn't work here. No, it's fine. Jackson, you will send 200. Did you pay chat to pay money? Have you seen VTuber clips? Yeah, I watch VTubers. Listen, paying chat for money doesn't end well. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I know you guys. One of the boycott points that had me laughing was to contact your local government body to raise the problem. Yeah, I saw that one. Everyone was making fun of that. I was like, bro, what? Yeah, just let me call up my local government and be like, they're not putting enough melanin on this anime-ass game from China. Like, what the fuck are they gonna do? In the words of Deadpool, well, that's just lazy writing. Yeah. Yeah, it's bad. And they do a lot. This will bring back out my media literacy is dead argument. But they do a lot of tell, don't show, you know, as opposed to show, don't tell. They just tell you everything. Like, they just like lay out everything for you. So the characters ends up just being, most of the characters end up just being like yapping machines for the lore instead of being actual characters. And like they always end. Like I finished Sumeru and like the ending was actually nice. It made me sadder that the rest of the everything leading to it was absolutely mid. But like after, they always make this that you go talk to a character and they'll just wall text you and be like, oh, do you still have some questions? And they will just explain things to you that they should have explained during the main story. Gaching is a baby game for babies, which isn't a bad thing by itself, but it takes itself too serious. I think it's the fans that take it too seriously. And like, yeah, like I understand. Like my friends also call it like, you know, baby's first JRPG, and it does make sense. But like what does not make sense to me is like how people seem to be unable to move on from that and still be like, oh yeah, like, you know, Genshin is like peak. Probably because they don't have time to play anything else and fix their views. Samsara Festival is the best part of the entire game. Oh, when they're trapping the Samsara during Sumeru? That, I got mixed opinions about that because like, yeah, it was good. It started out pretty good actually. So like when it just starts out, you're like, yo, we're getting some actual interesting stuff going on. Let's fucking go. But then it kind of extends for too long, you know? And they do this thing in which this character shows up to like help you, but like she won't actually tell you anything. Because she is like, oh no, your brain wouldn't be able to take it. You need to discover it by yourself. And it's like so obviously a dream, but they make you go through it so many times for so long just so your character can get to the conclusion that you're trapped in a dream. And I'm just like, I knew this like 5 loops ago. It was fairly obvious. You didn't need to spell it out for me as if I were like a 5-year-old. My favorite part of the brief time I played Genshin was getting this wealth of text and then having my emergency ration need even more explanation. Yeah, Paimon is there for like, as I said, media literacy is dead once again. I'll repeat it. Paimon is literally there to use like, when people talk too long, Paimon will like dumb down everything to like 3 phrases. Like that is the meaning of her existence, which makes her extra annoying for people that can actually read and have reading comprehension. And it speaks for you, and I hate that. I'm a Sonic fan. I have absolutely zero room to talk about a fanbase that takes itself way too seriously. Also true. But, you know, like I keep to my friends too, and like I have some other friends that are Sonic fans. And like, you know, we know not to take the franchise too seriously. We just really like it. And, you know, and we're big fans, but like we're not gonna go around fighting people over it. Out of all the horror games you have played, which is the one you have say has the best storytelling? I mean, I need to advance more into Honkai Impact. Side A, Paimon, side B, calls it monologue. Yeah, you know, the two extremes of bad writing. Yeah, the Genshin MC has a voice actor. Like, they never talk. They have like a few lines here and there, and it's so jarring when they talk, since like they don't normally do it. That when you do, you're like, oh. It's made worse in Sumeru, because in Sumeru the MC actually has a lot of like inner monologue, but none of it is voiced. And I'm like, why didn't they just voice this? They have a voice actor. Do you mean like Link? Kind of, but like not really. But yeah, I haven't gotten more into Honkai, to be sure. But now when it comes to storytelling, as a whole, I will say for now Zenless, even though not much has happened in Zenless. The chapters have been very self-contained, and the characters actually feel more like people than just NPCs that are there to guide you along. Starry has really good moments also. Penacony was very fun, except for like a few parts that it kind of overstayed its welcome. And I heard the new patch back in the Xian show is also pretty good, but I haven't finished it. It starts kind of poor, but it picks up really quickly. I advanced it a little bit, and I was like, I can't believe I left this hanging like right before it started becoming interesting. Is Zenless the one with the Wolfman? Yeah. Yep. College just practicing your PhD dissertation, and you just happen to be there. Free. Might as well. But yeah, and it has a lot of, you know, it's like, the thing also with Genshin is that I've noticed, for as much as people like to yap about the lore and like, you know, all the details and whatnot that they put, I always see people being like, oh, they put so much attention to detail and whatnot. And like, I played the entire Sumeru story, and I was like, they do not. There's so many, I want to say plot holes, but you know, there's like little plot holes, you know, like things that in the big scheme of things might not be a big thing. You know, the story itself still makes sense. But there's little things that, you know, that don't make sense. So I mean, like, you can't tell me they put attention to detail when there's like, they're missing and glossing over all these details. Like in Sumeru, they have this thing called the Akasha. The ones that are, if you saw me play, like, I played like a little bit of Sumeru before I stopped streaming Genshin altogether. But if you saw, you might have seen like they gave you a little thing called the Akasha. That is like a little thing that you put in your ear. And it's like a Google Lens. It's like a focus from Horizon. It's supposed to like kind of connect everyone's knowledge into a database so you can like access it freely. But you know, first off, you get given one before getting to the city. Like randomly. A character gives you one. They're like, oh, you'll need this. But then you get to the city. And you're like, oh yeah, let us give you this. And they do not acknowledge that you supposedly already have one. And they give you new ones. And I'm like, okay. And that first one that they gave you never comes up ever again. It's just forgotten. And then, you know, they talk about how it's supposed to like collect, share knowledge kind of thing. So like you can access information based on like what everyone knows. Kind of like a small internet. But you know, it is a device that kind of takes knowledge from your brain. So of course then they make the point of like how it can actually kind of have effects on you. That's how they do the entire dream samsara thing. They put everyone to sleep and then they just kind of erase those memories so they repeat the same day over and over in a dream without realizing that they're like repeating the same day over and over. So, you know, they make it sound like this very all-powerful thing. But your character is still wearing it in spite of that after they break free of the samsara. But like after a certain cutscene, when your character leaves the city, your character suddenly doesn't have it anymore. They don't have it on anymore. And it's never mentioned or acknowledged or shown in any kind of way that they took it off. And then there's this other character that helps you out. And mind you, they made a point of saying how all the people behind all this can actually track you with the akasha, with the thingy. They made a point of saying that, you know, they're like, oh, they can like know what you're doing and whatnot. And yet this character that is very much helping you out against this always has his thing on. I think it's just part of his model, but like still, you know, like those are the kind of details I speak of. So I'm like, why is nobody taking their thing off? If we were already, you know, we all acknowledge that they can track us with that thing. Why don't we just take it off? Remove it. And then you go to like another town and like some other guy shows up who doesn't have one in his model, but apparently he does wear one. Because they're like, oh, they're still tracking your movements. So at one point they're like, oh, we need to figure out what you will do since they're tracking your movements. You know, they're tracking your movements so they know which paths to avoid. So we need to do like, what would you do? Since like right at that moment he was doing like all the opposite. So, you know, and they use this thing, they dry point the home of like, they know what you will do, you know, they have like your personality. It might need like a predictive AI, you know, so since you're constantly wearing it and sharing your thoughts with it, there's like an AI that can figure out your personality and like predict your movements. So they make a big point of that at one point to be like, oh, they're tracking your movements, you know, and they're tracking our movements and they also know what we're gonna do. And yet, as I say, nobody removes it. Nobody takes it off. Nobody ever mentions taking it off. Nobody's like, maybe we should remove this thing that helps people keep track of us. They all just keep wearing it. But yeah, as I say, they find this guy through it. I mean, they don't find him, but like they manage to avoid him by being like, oh, he's there, you know, and he will usually do this, so like let's not go through there. And it's like, okay, sure, I guess. But yeah, and then at the end they're like, the thing doesn't actually take knowledge from people on its own. Like the people in charge need to manually upload like this knowledge and profiles, which goes against what they explain at the beginning. So I'm like, okay. So they were like, they couldn't track your movements, you know, you the protagonist, because since you were new to the city, they hadn't uploaded like your profile to the big brain machine yet. And then they also say that, remember when I said about how they tracked this guy to like another town in the desert using the thing? Then at the end they're like, oh, we couldn't track him because he was out of range. Never before it was stated that the thing had any sort of range of effect. I guess they just found out. Yeah, the people that had been using it for years just found out, I guess. Need to be like that. That's just really lazy writing. Yeah, it's like, you know, they make this big show of this thing, making it like a all powerful, all knowing, and they're like, oh no, it actually isn't. But they just, you know, just when it is convenient that it isn't, they're like, oh yeah, haha, turns out that it couldn't actually do this, haha. Even though it did it like 5 scenes ago. Power scaling as a plot demands, truly. And also when you're fighting the last boss, they make a big show of being like, you know, now the rightful god taking power over the thing, being like, I will connect it to everyone, you know, so like everyone will know what's going on and everyone will help you come up with a way to defeat this boss. And they make a big show of it, of like, you know, the undying, indomitable will of the human spirit kind of thing, which I usually love. But they, you know, they make a big show out of it, and then I guess they imply that the special weapon that I got by that point was thanks to that. I guess. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just guess that this is how I got this special power that now lets me hit the boss, even though all we got was like scenes of people thinking. All right, Kale, thank you for dropping by. Good luck with your projects. The human spirit cannot be defeated. Real. Hey, Hakuja. But yeah, that's why I'm like, I actually had a bit of discussions with like someone because they were like I kept asking about the Akasha thing, you know, being like, why didn't they take it off? Like, why didn't never mention that they took it off? You know, like, why they didn't just remove it? And they were like, oh, you're just focusing on the bad, you're just focusing on all the bad things. And I mean, like, no, I'm just reading the story and the lore, and like the lore is telling me this, what they're not doing, then they're not doing anything. Like, what did you expect? Like, you can't tell me. As I said, you can't tell me. You can't try to sell me on like how much attention to detail and things they put on the stuff, and then they pull stuff like that. It's like, no, I'm not gonna believe it. If you just ignore the bad and focus on the good, everything is 10 out of 10. Oh my god. Yeah, pretty much. There is like, oh, don't focus on the bad stuff. But I mean, like, but it's there. Like... So yeah, it is something. Now it's actually, after I finish, you actually get the good quests that are the ones that talk about like 500 years ago, like the war of Irradiant, that city that was like smited by the gods and cursed everyone in it. And has this character that's actually interesting because he's from there. And like he also traveled with your sibling, but then they fell off, and you don't really know their goals. But he's like helping you out now to discover these things. And as you try to unfold what happened, why it happened, and where the fuck is your sibling, and why is your sibling now helping the quote unquote enemy order. But they only put those in like in between countries, I guess you could say. You know, after you're done with one of the countries' story, they'll put one of those, and then you have to go back to like whatever the fuck they decide to do this time. I'm like, maybe you just focused on this whole thing about tracking my sibling and trying to discover what happened 500 years ago with the gods and whatnot. You know, this could make for a good game if you just put that in. Just leave that in. Just take it out and make it its whole thing. They were looking for their sibling. How's that going? I don't know. I think they cross it again. I think they cross each other again at First Fontaine. I'm not sure. More main story, please. The country discovery has in part become a side quest. Yeah. They're like... You know, they're like... The countries are like their own self-contained stories that sometimes add to their like overarching world lore. But like, you know, the main quest of finding your sibling, you never get anything out of those, almost. Now in Sumeru, you got like a clue. But also, it's at the end, you know? At the end, after you're done with the main story, and then you go talk to this character that it just tells you extra lore, which is like one of the worst writing decisions ever. It's like, you know, it's like if in Never Cloud or like your Frontline, you know, after once you're done with a major event, you will go talk to like Persica or someone, and she will just have like 5 different dialogue options to explain you things that didn't make it to the main plot for one reason or another, and then you're left wondering, why was this not part of the main plot? Why was this not explained? during the main plot. And then also sometimes you get like some extra info that you're like, why didn't I not get this during the main story or like during another quest? And instead I have to sit here and have a character just tell it to me. Like imagine if instead of doing the whole trying to rescue Angela mission in Girls Frontline, I mean Angelia and Anja, I like seeing how she talks to this gray consciousness and then how she gets taken over by RPK and whatnot. It's like instead of showing you that, you know, you fail the mission in like fixed point, and then like I don't know, Ro comes up to you and just tells you the entirety of like everything else. just talks to you, just tells it to you. Instead of you actually seeing the whole thing unfold. It's like Roy came and tell you like, oh yeah, no, she got unfortunately she got taken by RPK, and then we blew up everything. And oh yeah, by the way, DeFi managed to capture William. We figure we should tell you that, you know, instead of actually showing you when it happens. And they somehow consider that good to tie up the plot. I forgot there is a civilian Genshin. Yeah, that's how it be. You think these characters will tell us this stuff as we need it rather than waiting until we're already done with everything? Yep. And they also reveal to you out of fucking nowhere. Again, this is just when you go talk to this character, and after you ask like the questions pertaining to the main story, she'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, I need to tell you more things. Even more things. And like she tells you how you're not the first person to come from out of this world. You're actually the fourth one. And then they tell you that the sky might be fake. And then they just leave that as that. And you're like, okay. Okay. I'd be ticked if after all that build-up with William, they were just like, oh, by the way, we cut him off screen. You thought you'd like to know that. Yeah, that's pretty much what they do. That's what I thought about how, like, explaining it. It's like if they had done that, you know? Is that after all the failure and everything, you just went and talked to Ro, and Ro will tell you, like, Ro just tells you everything that happened inside, instead of actually having a whole event dedicated to seeing it. And then she ends, after she gave you like 3 hours of lore, she's like, oh yeah, by the way, we managed to capture William. Thumbs up emoji. Instead of showing that little scene at the end with DeFi actually getting to him. So yeah, it's not great. It's just... it's okay at the best of times so far. My sister really liked Fontaine though, so I'm looking forward to that. Once I manage to slog through everything else that I need to do before they let me go to it. I need to do some character missions or something. But yeah, Sumer had a good ending at the very least. Everything leading up to it was mediocre at best. And the aftermath was also kind of whatever. Also after you defeat the boss of Sumeru, of the Sumeru story, which was like some puppet that they had ascended to have like godlike powers. After you manage to defeat that, you don't get shown what happens to him. You're just this girl at the end tells you like, oh yeah, we have him under observation. And you're like, okay, I guess. I guess. But anyway, I'm done with my breakfast drink. So just give me a minute to go get like a proper drink and we'll jump onto the game. Let's go. I'm not going to the BRB screen, so you'll just hear background sounds probably. I'm back. You mean direct control? What do you mean? Got her. I got a throat candy as well, which is a bad idea considering I need to read, but we take those. We take those. Now let me actually put this on full screen. I'm gonna show you guys the login screen and then I'll hide it because I probably need to log in. I haven't logged into the game in my PC for a bit. I think for a week. I don't know, but just in case. Anyway, let's go. You're not gonna see anything at first because I forgot to set it up beforehand, but let's go! Look at that beautiful, beautiful white screen. Oh, never mind, it worked. Woohoo! I had LD player selected. Let's go! Where's the audio? Where is the audio? No, let me. Did it not unmute? Why did it not unmute? Why is my unmute game audio button not working now? God damn it. Yeah, just let me log in. Let's fix that manually. EOS, my beloved, real. Okay, I'm logged in. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Alright, so let me see why this is not working. Two actions, none of them working. Why are they not working? Hmm. Wait, how did I? How did I select the input for these ones? Hmm. Okay, let me just restart this. Restart my stream deck. See if it helps. Just a quick attempt. If not, I'll just do it manually. Previously, how will sacrifice yourself for duty and agents? Yes. This deal with Hubble gives me so hope for a lost son. Yeah, hopefully. Maybe we can get something to happen. Okay, let's see. Is it working now? It is working now. Let's go! Good old turn off and back on again. They're all reliable. Oh, they put that personalized skin. If anyone wants to grab my invite code and return to the game to get me rewards, there's my code. Let's grab the free thing. What should I get? Money and this. What's this? I don't know what this is. They gave me 25 Never fragments. The code is only for new player, right? I think it's for new and returning players. So if you haven't logged in for a while, I think this still counts. I believe. The game volume might be a bit too loud, yes. Let me fix that.
私はどれでも構わないんですけど。
Thank you for letting me know. I have different audio routing for my things, so I can adjust the game on my end separately from what you guys hear. So always remember to tell me, guys, whether the game volume is good for you or not. I never knew which one is better of these ones, or if it doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter in the end, it's just whether you want the things or the fragments. Yeah, the neural kits. It does sound like the neural kit is the better investment. Volume is freaking streaming. Yeah. Especially because, as I said, sometimes depending on how streamers have it set up, sometimes they hear different from what you hear. So like the volume might be good. Like I said, if it gets too loud for me, I can just adjust it. But also, I do not have my voice playing in my ears. So that's why I usually ask people to tell me if the game volume is okay, especially like comparing to my voice. Let's just generate some spirits. Woohoo! I love how it has like no special animation, no special music, no anything. They just kind of added that.
教授は私がこの世界で重責を背負えるとお思いですか？以前の私でしたら
Wait, I was doing
逃げ出
something?
していたかもしれませんね。でも今は違った見方ができるようになったんです。聞いていただけますか？
Not enough budget. But I got 10 pulls and a dream. And there's also should be a free one that I need to grab from somewhere. But for now I have 10 pulls and a dream. Okay, no, these are not. Those are not growing. I can somehow tell when they're turning gold or not. Now, where Doko is the free ticket? I know there's a free ticket because it shows in the corner that there should be one. In the event. Okay, let me see. Why do I have this unfinished? Why do I have this unfinished? Let's just finish it, I guess.
この水獣の威力を味わいなさい。科学者の
I
力
was
を
farming
見せてあげる。
and apparently it didn't finish.
怖いよ。
Oh, probably because they were kicking my ass. I probably closed the game afterwards since I was doing something else. That is likely what happened.
あんたの悪意もそこまでよ。
Also, yeah, I got the cookies can. I caved in the end. Look at her. How could I not get it?
データ収集完了。次の実験に移るわね。
Oh, I was doing that. I see now. It's really caving if it's the correct choice. You're so right. Alright, let's see. Oh, should we get the trailer now? Should we... They do that now, don't they? Oh, purchase company gives you the free ticket? Okay. Oh, there it is. Let's go! So let's pull first. Let's use that free ticket. It is free after all! Search for free! I love how it says search for free! Let's see if I have the same luck in reverse that I got Lucy with the free ticket. No, these are staying. Welp! Welp! Despair indeed. Where else do I need to go? Reach 100 daily activity, okay. I didn't know about the free ticket, I got it after I got Hubble alt. Now! Anyway, trailer time. Oh no, it just starts right off. Okay, I thought it was gonna play the trailer. No more pulling, I have no more tickets. If I get another 10 pull by playing, we'll pull. We'll pull again. Alright, let me get the voices on then. As splendorous as stardust, as searing hot as a heart. Leaping, burning, emanating incomparable brilliance. Then extinguishing amidst the vast, boundless galaxies. Birthed through the universe's evolution, concluded by the means of collapse and heat death. By all means, a star's story ought to be that. The Oasis, Upstream. I have enough quartz for another 10. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'll check that after this tour section. And that's the current situation. Professor, are you listening? Professor? My ass is not listening. Sorry, I drifted off a bit. Where were we? Returning from the realm of my thoughts, I found the coffee in my hand half cold. I subconsciously caressed the mug, partaking in the serene, bitter aroma from the palm of my hand. The Oasis Upstrooms is often a quiet and calm environment filled with familiar friends and routine procedures. For these reasons, it will logically evoke relaxation and tranquility. However, the air was filled with silence, and there was little relaxation or tranquility to be found. So you have the situations where your attention leaves you to something of a rare sight. But this side of you happens to let go to waste. What are you muttering about, Antonina? Squeak! A voice suddenly interjects in the conversation. Antonina looks downwards to find that the miniature entropic she previously settled in the corner had at some point slipped over and latched onto her ankle with a practiced motion. You... seriously? The little guy from the affair with Demiurge, huh? Didn't seem to change very much, even with the sticking to you part. That's about enough. It's not really different from a normal animal cub, and it's isn't anywhere close to hostile. I recall its intelligence is a bit greater than the average in tropics. When the Oasis was last attacked, it contributed something, no? Yes, there was ancient tropic protective gear. This little guy did indeed prove useful. But we ought to continue the topic from before. Shuan is still waiting for a response from us. The miniature anthropic shuffles a little, consciously balling itself up after clambering onto the table. I down a mouthful of cold coffee, quickly getting a grasp of the situation. We still have no way to ascertain the situation inside that special star sphere in Yutian. A star sphere. In Yutian? Correct. It does not occupy a large area, but internal structures remain unclear. It seems to align with my original estimations, but I still need an appropriate team to enter and explore it. But that is difficult with the fact that Yutian is possibly even busier than the Oasis. The sector is freshly reset, and they have 1,000 tasks that need to be done. Neither Shuanu nor the agents can be excused from their positions to head an expedition. Though, with the time we've taken to rest and reorganize after returning to the Oasis, Shuanu has made some new discoveries. She's been trying to parse that star sphere and found that it has no intent to expand. I remember that. It appeared to be relatively stable at the time, and Shuanu advised us to await her progress report. And it hasn't been that long since then. Has there been a new development based on that trait? Your guess is correct. It's contracting back into itself. After discovering this, Sean immediately sent us a report and submitted a support request for an expeditionary team. Contracting? Is that merely a data trend, or is it becoming visually smaller? Currently the former, but it's hard to say in the future. Its progress is slow, but even mere external observation can spot abnormalities. That area that has not been reset theoretically still has traces of entropization that should naturally and instinctively expand. But after this period of deadlock, it's showing some traces of dissipating. Dissipating. Almost subconsciously, a figure looking towards the stars appears in my mind. It lightly sways beneath the screen of the stars, but is soon swallowed by the starlight. He literally spun cut by Hubble, hell yeah. The entirety of the Oasis is keenly paying attention to the fact that Hubble still cannot be reset. If there is even a shred of hope, we cannot allow it to disappear as such. Unbeknownst to me, my coffee had fully cooled as we spoke. Its remnant heat fades from my hands, quite like the contents of our conversation. Your coffee's not hot anymore, Professor. Shall I get a new cup for you? Persicaria, who had been listening quietly by the side for some time, comes up and pours me a steaming hot cup of coffee. The miniature anthropic extends a tentacle in curiosity, but the cup's hot side dissuade it. I sip from my cup, now filled with an appropriately sweetened drink, to get the atmosphere flowing again. Appropriately sweetened? Persicaria? Are you sure about that, Professor? Or did your sugar tolerance just go up? Professor, if, and I mean if, our predictions and forebodings about that star sphere really become possibilities, things are probably developing for the worse. Thank you for the coffee, Persicaria. Looking at our reluctant Persicaria, her eyes are full of concern, as if she isn't sure whether or not this topic is worth continuing. I suddenly get the feeling that Persicaria has really grown a lot. Not just improving at taking care of others, but even using more considered levels of sugar in coffee. Professor, seriously, teasing me again. But you seem to be in better spirits, thank goodness. Don't worry, Persicaria. I've just been thinking about something. Thinking? About what? Though we cannot know what's happening inside that star sphere, I'm afraid these phenomena point towards the fact that the operands keeping the star sphere functioning internally are running dry. If we follow our projections that mysterious star sphere really does contain Hubble's remnant data segments, we must move as soon as possible. So I was thinking that this time, I should go exploring myself. You mean to visit Yutian sector again? No, you mean... going into that star sphere yourself, right? Before it's too late to do anything at all. I knew it. No, it's too dangerous. I do not think you can afford to put yourself on the line at a time like this. We have a pile of problems waiting for you to solve, and the Oasis itself has only just gotten back on its feet. Our opponent reserves were only beginning to be in the green when we decided to reinforce Yutian. You haven't forgotten, have you? And we have no lack of personnel who are suited to tackling that star sphere. Putting aside Xinhuan and Yuang, who are adjusting to the environment, at least Fresnel. It's precisely because Fresnel's going, Antonina. It is because if we are to investigate at a star sphere at all, Fresnel will definitely go. So I shall go too. Fresnel isn't the type to let her impulses overcome her, but she has been in a sorry state recently. If the professor is there to command, it really... Why do I certainly find it annoying that you're so right about things? You always find it annoying when I'm right about things. I appreciate the praise, Antonina. That's not the idea. Of course, my personal considerations are involved. Tsundere. Yutian's head-dead entropics are not quite the same as the entropics we're familiar with. According to Antonina's recent research, though, their core structure is much the same. As the Oasis professor, I hope to retrieve some data about the heat-dead entropics before that star sphere dissipates, to improve our understanding of entropics. Rather than adventuring or gambling, I will say that commanding a small detachment to resolve a difficult situation is my field of expertise. I am the finest choice as an expedition lead here. I'd like to say that this is pure arrogance, but there's no proof I can use to rebuke you as of right now. On the other hand, asked Kuruko, perhaps I still have some selfish desires? Whether it's me or everyone else at the Oasis, we're all looking forward to Hubble's return. With her current extended inability to be reset, I cannot sit here in the ops room and await your reports of expeditions and battles. We still have friends slumbering in faraway corners of the universe. If possible, I'd like to bring her back myself. Just like Antonina said last time, this might be our only chance to find out how to reset Hubble. These are all just conjectures. And weren't you distracted and not paying attention? No need to worry about that type of stuff, Anna. Don't copy them and call me. Squeak! Nearly got run off course by you. Anyway, you're sure you want to go yourself, right? Along with Fresnel. You've really gone mad. If that's the case, I'll go as well. Yeah? I'm saying I will go to Yutian, even if it's just reserve support. You're not going on an adventure with Fresnel alone. Sure! Will we need to leave Persicaria at home again? Persicaria at home. Leave her at home like she's some sort of abandoned cat. And who is to blame for these situations, dearest professor? This is a way of expressing trust, right? Even if the professor is occupied by something external for a while, I would be perfectly fine. You're a great help, Persicaria. There you go, calling them again. Squeak! All call and response with each other. One day... Whatever, I'll go notify Fresnel. She should still be awaiting orders in her dorms. Make your work and outing arrangements, Professor. Antonina glares at me and then at Persicaria, shaking her head and exhaling intensely. The miniature entropic leaps off the table, frantically following Antonina's footsteps. The door closes gently, and we have the silent space between the two of us again. Allow me to fill in the rest of the information for you. According to Shannon, a lot of things were sucked up into that star sphere, including a good portion of the sector's agents. These agents are in the same boat as Hubble, and recent attempts have not been successful, causing the relevant sector procedures to become unsustainable. Their manpower problems are even more severe than ours. Yes, As such, Shuana's list of requests also includes finding their lost companions inside Darkstar sphere. If they are entropized, they can be executed, allowing a reset to proceed. Execute. These agents' neural structures are comparatively simple, and there are likely no ways to repress entropization. As a sector administrator, this is likely the last option she has available, the least favorable of all options. What a complex situation. Looks like there's a lot on our agenda this time. I pull open my desk drawer, intending to look for corresponding documents related to contacting Yutian. A little orb-shaped object rolls out from deep inside the drawer along with the momentum, rolling into my view. A small, delicately crafted starlight chocolate. Oh no, isn't that the one that Hubble gives you for Valentine's? Yep. Oh, the music is very nice. There was no trailer though. Didn't they used to show the trailers, or am I hallucinating? Was that Chris phone line? Anyway. I see. Oh, let's do. I might have one last temple. They should one for the first part. Oh, okay, yeah, right, because this is kind of a two-parter event. Do I have enough? Or yes. Alright. Here we go again. Nope. Why does Nera Cloud treat me like this? After all I give to Mika, this is how they reward me. You have a strong enough team to do network battle, spend all tickets, and you should be able to see all the story. Okay, so you're saying... Oh, it's one of those. Oh. And this is... Wait, which are the thing I need? After spending... Okay. Okay, so it doesn't matter what I expend, I just need to expend. There's 3 currencies. I see how it is. I'm guessing I should get these ones first. The Eternal Lens. Supposedly TL Anna wanted to call her Doomstar Hubble, but was overruled. Network training. I might not have a strong enough team, but maybe I can do... I should be able to do a few. I could be able to do 3 at the very least. Maybe 4. 5, probably not. We shall see. How was this? I need to... Oh yeah, I need to pick things. that's it, right? I might actually be able to do 4. Let's give it a try.
準備完了。また始まるんだ。終わらない戦いが。イージスの盾。
The good thing though is that this means I can just farm this off stream easily and then just read the story.
今ここに誕生した。
Confirm result. But this only gives me the what is this? Oh yeah, right. This only gives me this currency, but I guess, I mean, it works. If it works, it works.
For this one, I don't
have a strong enough guard. Hopefully they'll be okay. I should probably use proc with the snipers and use melee warriors. Defend themselves.
Mission start.
Alrighty. Let's rest. That should be enough to use a few of these imaging components and unlock part of the story. Let's just get the tickets for now. Yo, I unlock until part 4. Let's go. Is it only 12 parts or is it longer? Is there more after this? Only 12? Oh, that's excellent. So I can probably finish. We can probably finish between today and tomorrow, depending on how long they are. No wonder they threw it in so soon. Since it was a major event, I thought it was gonna be like super extra long. Excellent, excellent. So let's go. Part 2. Image of the Celestial Spheres. Sorrow is a bitter ice cube floating in a glass of soda, a reflection of the planet in the sky above. I was split asunder actions and emotion. That shocked, bewildered, self-condemning me is now locked behind the mirror's other side. The day before I returned to Yutian, I was thinking, why hasn't the soda turned bitter? Yutian sector, especially Starsphere outer sector. In the boundless cosmos, the spaceship steadily trudges forward. Professor, starboard! Thanks for the reminder. An interface projects forward with the trajectories of incoming debris. I handle the controls accordingly. The simplified command console interfacing with the propellant system, driving the spaceship towards the left, steering onto a new route clear of debris.
spaceship controls quickly. Impressive, Professor. These two spaceship models were originally created to be piloted by reserve personnel when astronauts were in short supply. They don't have as much carrying power as the other models either, but they should do fine for you, Professor. If you can't spare a hand, hit up the autopilot system. Oh, Crux here! After you got the navigational basics down, you can leave route planning and basic defense of the system. Though, even if we made modifications for you and Fresnel's there to help... Even if we made modifications for you and Fresnel there to help out, I'd advise that you give it some extra practice, Rookie. With our remote support and UTS current technology, Anna should be much more assured, right?
I wouldn't be so sure. I'll do what I can to get this spaceship back in one piece first. Well, Antonina's is still in the same place as Shuano preparing the analysis system, and isn't here to blast anyone for... Professor, large debris field ahead. Requesting permission to use blasters. Fresnel's voice suddenly interrupts the conversation. She focused herself completely on planning the route, devoting all of her attention. In the center of an information panel, an impossible to ignore symbol signifying a piece of debris approaches her projected path. Command model, authorized. Fresnel.
Authorization complete.
Light beam reflection. Ready! As Fresnel's voice settles in the air, a thin yet bright beam of light bursts forth diagonally ahead of the spaceship. Looking outwards from inside the cabin, the debris in space remains difficult to spot. Following the light beam, a dazzling minute firework detonates in the distance, a soundless spectacle in the vacuum of space. Phew! Good work, Fresnel.
You two seem to work together well enough. No need for me to breathe down your throats then. We'll leave you to it for now. Call if you need anything. We'll await your good news.
As the call ends, I look towards Fresnel. She remains fixated on the interface in front of her, observing it diligently with her head down. Fresnel. Fresnel? Professor? Were you talking to me? Krug is going to breathe down my throat? My, how forward. Yeah, I'm like... Truck? What do you mean by that? To be honest, not having combat disrupting the story for once isn't a bad idea. Yeah, honestly, I like when they just have like story sections instead of like when they do like the little thing in which they put cutscenes in between the stages. Unless it's stuff like when they do things like Simo fighting himself. You know, when they do it to do like quote-unquote little cutscenes. Otherwise, I just rather read as a visual novel. As you all know, Gears Frontline and Narrow Cloud are my favorite visual novels. What do you mean they have gameplay? It works when they try to integrate the story with the gameplay. The current skin event has lots of that. Ooh, that's cool. Professor, were you talking to me? Don't be so nervous, Fresnel. Once Antonina's done with her adjustments and preparations, she'll be able to provide remote support. That'll take some of the pressure off you, and make the remainder of the story easier. Alright, got it. She finally removes her sight from the interface, looking into the endless depths. Outside the cabin, between the veils of the stars, an area gleaming with purple starlight finally reveals itself. Inlaid in quieted dust, akin to a deep placid sleep, yet like a siren amongst the seas of stars, swaying and warbling its tantalizing song. I'm just feeling a little bit like a stranger in a strange land. Is that how you use that phrase? I can't say I really know, since I don't have a way with words like Hubble does. She always knows how to talk to people in a gentle way, how to write great novels, with phrases and passages that just make people want to keep reading with how beautiful they are. She's really, truly amazing. Why don't you marry her, won't you? Hubble's biggest fan. Fresnel gazes deeply into the mysterious star sphere, not turning away for but a second. Professor, why must such a good person as Hubble meet such a fate? Why is it that back then, the one to bear everything wasn't... Fresnel. Relegating navigation to the autopilot, I stand up and come to Fresnel's side, lightly rubbing her head. This isn't what Hubble will want, you see? I know. Trust me, Professor, I won't be like this for very long. Perhaps some will sink downwards in grief and fear, but not me. I still have a great many things to do. Her voice is dominated by coolness and maturity as always, but within it hides an almost imperceptible shaking. After Hubble left, I had thought I tidied up my emotions and that I could go and deal with what we had to with a calm mind. That's just what I'm like. I made contact myself, retrieved the data myself, and dealt with the resetted people in the sectors myself. As if I was numb enough to not have to deal with the fallout when it all eventually comes crashing down. But sometimes I can't help but doubt. Have I done everything I need to? Have I done well enough? You've done what you need to. You've done well. Letting yourself feel that pain is alright too. So long as we find it in ourselves to keep moving forward. Alright, I will. Thank you, Professor. I will. Fresno, we are in a Mika game, nothing is fair or real though. The sound of incoming communications rings out anew, putting a stop to that short conversation.
Professor, Shuano and ice preparations are complete. How are you adjusting?
No problem so far. Has the analysis system returned any notable feedback?
It's only just been put into place. Don't be so hasty. Do you know how much of a nightmare it was to configure properly? UTM's technology is a special build for the star spheres. It has no functions related to the monitoring and analysis of entropics at all built in. Chances are that that's a part of the sector's design.
Squeal!
When did you get up there? I was wondering where that little guy went while I was busy. I thought he was busy playing or something.
Probably went and hid in the spaceship when you went up to adjust the instruments.
What a pain. No troublemaking, alright?
Squeal! Squeal!
Don't know whether or not it understood, but it's more or less been in most of the time, so it shouldn't cause any problems. Let's put that to the side for now. We have more important matters. Fresnel, the instruments indicate that you'll be inside our star sphere of interest within 10 minutes. What's the spaceship status?
All green, ready for approach.
Shuano, how about you? My preparations are complete too. I can monitor environmental changes in the star sphere through the signals sent back by the spaceship and provide corresponding support. When the time calls for it, I will also release some of the sector's authorizations according to the professor's needs. As for the rest, you'll have to see when you get in. Professor, proceed with utmost caution. I shall temporarily disable the warning issued when routing towards the star sphere. Issue the command at your convenience. Let's go.
Route planning complete. Autopilot initiating.
The spaceship lurches forward briefly, and the world outside the cabin window ripples briefly like the surface of water. We've arrived at the edges of the Starsphere's influence. Ahead is... The interface chugs along in an almost tentative manner, the icon signifying the spaceship steadily blinking. The purple starlight ground encroaches, yet its approach evades the naked eye. Then, space was still itself, the very same, yet everything was different. Looking in from the outside, the Starsphere emanates an aesthetically appealing and alluring purple. Yet when we place ourselves in it, that color blends into the very space itself, no longer seeming so deep. It transforms that anomalous into the mundane, accepting and welcoming all guests.
It's working. Professor, unfold the spaceship's analysis instruments. I'll immediately... The Starsphere monitoring panel's responding too. What is this?
Shuano and Antonina both fall into silence. The data in front of them is doubtlessly no less shocking than what lies before our eyes. Chaotic nebulas, a lawless realm. Celestial bodies randomly placed as if board game pieces knock on the... Celestial bodies randomly placed as if board game pieces knock onto the floor. Play host to vivid astral phenomena that dazzle the senses.
This is a miniature solar system? No, not quite. It looks like everything's where it should be, but this place is so chaotic that it has no structure to speak of. The basic rules of physics are still in effect, and our route planning systems still function here. But proceed with caution. This place is more akin to... more like an area well and truly controlled by the entropics. No, it quite literally is. Oh no.
Antonina pulls up an information panel. An icons marking entropization swarm the screen. A patch of darkness lies in an even further place. A patch of darkness lies in an even further place. Not unlike a sound sleeper streamscape. Hushed and elegant, yet teeming with danger.
From the layout, there should be some sort of overseer in this area driving these things and steering things into what they are now. But we don't know what that is. The bad news is that from the difference in the signals after you made contact, that overseer seems to have already woken up.
Professor, above! The gravity system suddenly shifts, and the floor beneath us lurches.
Ski!
Great pieces of debris fall from the sky, raining down past the cabin windows. The miniature entropic tumbles down from the control panel, tightly hanging onto my seat. It was not the gravity system that was problematic, but that the spaceship's defense systems had already sustained an attack. Fresnel, crank up the defense level. Prepare cooperative firepower. Preparations complete. Shift to manual piloting.
Autopilot deactivated.
Crap, was it because of the data disturbance just then? I'll turn on the safety level with Shuan.
With Antonina's rapid calculations, a moving section of the asteroid belt appears in the middle of the panel. The spaceship icon within rapidly flashes as various areas less populated with debris are highlighted. The danger index... No, turn like indicated. We should take that route. Fresnel will go through the high-density asteroid belt in Area C. Copy. Help me clear out the obstacles in the way, as well as these few pieces I've marked.
Targets highlighted.
Professor, that's a dangerous area.
Just a second. The spaceship inclines greatly, avoiding the incoming astral debris as if traversing through a hail of bullets, putting a dangerous trail. It'll work, so long as we get through this thin corridor here.
Ahead of you.
There! Cutting it close with the final piece of debris, The formerly chaotic world before us ravels into clarity. I leave the pilot into the system once again, allowing the spaceship to hover in place.
Safe, at last. Phew. Professor, Fresnel, how's the spaceship doing?
I turn to inspect the panel when suddenly a voice in my heart speaks. Before I could rejoice in avoiding a crisis, the very same peculiar feeling of being watched that came upon me when I first came to Yutian flows through my body. That's... I look forward into space. The hitherto empty patch of space is now occupied by a very special figure. There she is! Woo! She seems to cast over a look on a whim, followed by a smile, and faces back into the vast depths. Hubble? Bow before the Doomstar. Clock keeps ticking further. Sometimes you can do everything right and still lose. Yeah. MVP has arrived. Thank you for making the world brighter, little octopus. I love the little octopus guy. He's so good. Alright. Let's go to the next one. I need to finish a bit earlier today because my sister started work earlier. So we'll see how far we can get. So let's see, part 3, Through the Stardust. We piece through the cluttered dreamscape to find the starlight that remains. Some of it is dazzling, some of it burns the fingers.
Autopilot active.
Fresnel, you saw that just then, right? No matter how far away, I will never mistake that person. Why is Hubble? That segment took 17 minutes. Thank you for counting. I always wondered how long this take me.
Hubble, what the hell did you see? From what I can gather using the signals here, the Starfield's owner. Hold on. You mean that the thing we briefly got the signal of just then was Hubble?
We can't be absolutely sure of their identity, but to Fresnel and me, there's no doubt that it's her. But the stage she's in is...
We've contemplated this possibility, but... Antonina, the analysis system is returning a much clearer signal. If that really is Hubble... that settles it. That's unentropic. Nothing more, nothing less. At the same time, you know, the ones with entropic cores that can infect the outside world with entropy.
An enterprise Hubble?
As you can empirically see, it's not too different from those more or less entropized planets. I will wager that the shrinking of the starsphere radius has something to do with her awakening. The operants in the starsphere might very well have been used to maintain her personal stability. But looking at it now, she doesn't seem to intend to take the initiative to expand. Ideally, we should first approach her, and then devise a plan to clear out this starsphere.
This is getting ugly. Fresnel, what are your thoughts? Hubble's still alive. Fresnel's voice is remarkably calm. Her sight burns into me, as if there was nothing in the whole wide world that could turn her away. Hubble hasn't sacrificed herself. She's still alive. After being devoured by that enterprise space, she must have held onto her will. I don't know the principles under which this starsphere formed, but it must have been Hubble's decision. Even that thing's entropic, that's still Hubble. She's still alive.
Get a grip, Fresnel. We know all too well the influence of improvisation. Such conclusions we have reached through the loss of countless friends. If that really is Hubble, she wouldn't be the one we know. You know that well, do you not?
That being said, rather ideas aren't unreasonable.
What does that mean?
We've never communicated with Enterprise agents that were under control, but we have had many exchanges with greater entropics. Do you recall the form the greater entropics appeared to us in? They can be communicated with, and maybe they even possess comparatively high intelligence.
That's true. They clearly do have differences in intelligence within their ranks, but they are a cut above the rabble.
We can't be sure what the structure of this star sphere exactly is, but it clearly has something greater than a normal entropic at its helm. If it operates in a manner similar to entropics we previously encountered, then there is a non-zero chance we will be able to communicate with this Hubble.
We cannot deny that possibility.
Antonina taps at the control panel in front of her, apparently entering some sort of tracking command, sighing with fatigue afterwards.
Seriously, don't make me out to be some sort of distant, emotionless antagonist. My original plan was to get you to collect the data fragments Hubble left behind in that star sphere, and try to reproduce her neural model. You agreed to all of that, but now there's a wrench in the works. We gotta adjust our plans. And that whole Hubble still alive thing, we're just as happy about that as anyone else.
I heard that.
Well, I'll have to ask you to pretend you didn't. Now that we confirmed that this ranger's owner is Hubble, I will try to track her movement as well. No matter what, we should locate her first, and plan from there.
I'll be counting on you then, Antonina. The Hubble we have now is important to me, in many ways. When we met just then, she didn't do anything hostile. It shouldn't be too difficult to communicate when we next meet. Of course, we should also prepare for the worst.
I do hope that it goes smoothly. You, Tian, were to gorge with all we have. I did not experience that united frontline saying as a happy percent, but Hubble's sacrifice has given us more hope. To Hubble, to the Oasis, we cannot disappoint those who have given us their aid.
Are we at a mutual understanding then? I look towards Fresnel, whose emotions appear to have settled somewhat. Yeah, I understand. With the Hubble we have now, we might not be much help. But the situation we're in is much better than what we originally expected, isn't that right? At least she didn't come out of the gate swinging, though that was never Hubble's style, was it? No matter what's happened, Hubble is still Hubble. Squeak! The miniature entropic clambers onto the control panel again, extending a tendril towards Fresnel's face, her countenance being a rare smile. What?
Don't muck around. Ignore that little guy for now. Anyway, I'm still tracking down Hubble's exact coordinates. Besides, we aren't sure exactly what stage she's in right now. We must also keep in mind the possibility of her other data fragments being scattered around the star sphere. Take care in your explorations.
Is it a split narrow cloud type of situation? This all sounds a bit familiar.
Huh? What are you talking about? This has nothing to do with that. Her narrow cloud is intact too, or it'll be troublesome for me to track her. Though the exact details will need.
Squeak!
Alright, quiet down.
Aside from that, we need to recycle the sector's agents too, right?
Correct. Shion is calibrating our instruments, and has drafted up a list of the agents who have yet to be successfully resetted.
Squeak! Squeak!
Give it a rest. We'll see each other again soon enough. Maybe you can't do anything to help out this time, at least.
The miniature entropic thrashing of its tentacles becomes more and more frantic, quickly smacking away at the panel. Antonina stops her steps, suddenly realizing something, pulling across another monitoring panel from the side.
Shuano, help me cross-check this data. These flux appear just turn. Hubble! Careful, she's back. And much more dangerous this time.
What do they mean by that? Like a young cub traipsing a forest, in the great span of space, the miniature entropic senses are exceptionally sharp toward the presence of other entropics. Especially when that presence is unthinkably mighty. Scream! As the miniature entropic turns toward a certain direction, a multitude of screens within the spaceship flare up in glaring red, warning of an incoming attack. Fresnel, brace yourself! Defense systems are in place. Command model. Professor, are we fighting back? Call up the real-time analysis panel first. Be ready to respond. There she! Oh, I already feel bad for Fresnel. In a gloomy place, a familiar yet strange figure is finally discernible. I love the hearts popping out when Hubble appeared. You're so valid. In the exact same form that we saw previously, with no protective gear to speak of, suspended in space without any shelter. Is this the thing that was following me all this time? She does not seem to realize that this is a spaceship, or rather, doesn't care for this spaceship's practical purpose. As the distance closes, I focus my efforts on calibrating the spaceship's imaging systems, trying to ascertain her current appearance. A strange star. No? No. She somewhat drowsily regards this unwelcome guest in her dream, muttering in a drifting manner. She raises her shapely fingers, lazily gesturing at us. A stream of dark purple light interweaves and spirals from the crystalline structures on her arm towards the tip of her fingers, mustering up inconceivable shreds of stardust, gathering into a surging torrent.
Incoming attack, evasive action. Incoming attack, evasive action. Incoming attack, evasive action.
Here she comes! Activate all defenses. The point of impact will be skewed towards the bottom. I immediately pitch the spaceship upwards, and the world outside the cabin windows heaves upwards. The attack is virtually unavoidable, and I pull towards the right. As showers of sparks fly, the spaceship flips around on the axis as the brilliant beam of light skims past the now diagonally inclined chassis. That dark purple shard of starlight scrapes past the spaceship's retracted landing gears, clustering its tail on the suspended ambient stardust into a vortex, puncturing through the rocks behind us. Missed? Why? Here comes the second round. Presnel, lock onto the largest clump of hash rate. See whose guns are bigger. Ready, but I don't know if... A few seconds will be enough. Presnel plants herself firmly in her seat, accessing the weapons module. The fused steel cannon's familiar gleam charges up to its maximum capacity, meaning unequal terms with Hubble's attack, and is nearly fully swallowed up. In this position, we can still make one more evasive maneuver. Fresnel, can you get a handle on her rhythm? Don't know about this Hubble, but if we're dealing with the same one as before, give it a shot. Then, when she next raises her hand, like this. The spaceship evades the attack at another angle, the previous attacks clearing the way for us. Far behind the spaceship, The asteroid belt repeatedly passed through false victim. Asteroids many times the size of the spaceship fully punctured. No fire explosions, no floating stardust. Only dark purple pulses, licking and grasping at remnants operants. Professor, we did it! Good work, Fresnel. Now we... Hubble towards her wrists, confused, her lethargic gaze growing clearer.
Starlight escaped me. Yet again?
She cocks her head, the stars and nebula still at her beck and call, sending forth another attack. It fails to find its mark again.
I knew it. If that's the case, full speed ahead! With her habits, she should be setting up a black hole. Oh yeah, she can do that.
I crank up the spaceship's secondary boosters. Like a loosed arrow we sail forth toward a long-awaited reunion.
If it was me, we'll deploy this way too, since we've always fought together like this.
The distance shrinks and the image in front of us enlarges. As we escape the black hole, we fly towards an old friend who knew us not, the uphold or end of a bargain we agreed upon the day the oasis was created.
How intriguing. I wonder who will be inside.
Hubble ceases her attacks, and the danger in the air disappears in a flash. The thin view gets closer and closer to the spacecraft until a hand lightly caresses the chassis, the ever so familiar face sharing a look with us through the window. The space enforces its pantomime, locking sound away. I attempt to lip-read her, attempting to replicate our conversations of days past.
Hubble.
Fresnel's expression is complex, and the weight on my mind does not grow any lighter. Our call was never cut, but Antonina sits silent. I know that it is all panning out just as she said.
What are you doing?
This is Hubble. This is also an entropic, standing before us. She is our friend, one who stood with us to the last, and sacrificed herself in the final moments. She is also an entropic, regarding and monitoring our every move with vacant interest.
Hubble, you look different. Did you change your eyeshadow or something? did you cut your hair? That response was more interesting than I imagined. Then...
Hubble's countenance shifts slightly, and the alarm bells in my head start to blur. The familiar sensation fades, and an alien, threatening aura seeps into the air. Before I open my mouth to speak, a warning, an unmistakable warbling breaks the stalemate.
Squeak! Mm-hmm. Squeak! Squeak!
The miniature entropic had made its way up to the window at some time or another, its minute tentacles excitedly knocking at the glass. After Hubble stopped her attacks, it soon recovered from its state of panic and greets Hubble in the way entropics do. I cannot make out for sure what the little guy is doing, but it is clearly happy.
It's you. Squeak! Yes, brighter than before. Squeak? Squeak? It's...
Yet I still recognize the Hubble.
Antonina finally speaks up after an extended silence, the underlying tones in her voice indiscernible.
When we were at the oasis, it will always follow me. But when I was busy, there'd be people to play with. It always had a penchant for Hubble's miniature planets. I never thought.
As she continues, Howell and Entropic's conversation seems to come to an end. Squee! Squee! The little Entropic excitedly leaps away from the window, clambering onto my slave from the control panel. Outside, Hubble waves a grin at us. A smile spread over her countenance. Seemingly suddenly remembering the communication barrier, she traces out a brief few sentences with her finger on the glass. Invite me in for a chat. Seeing as you're looking for my traces. Professor Fresno.
Ooh. It's been 2 hours though. I'm gonna take just a small break to drink some more water and go to the bathroom. And then refill my water after I finish drinking it. Then we'll do part 4. And we'll do some more stages to unlock more parts. And yeah, I can probably go on for another 2 hours or so. So yeah, a small bathroom break, as you know, as always, as it happens. So BRB guys, don't go anywhere, or go get some snackies or something, stretch your legs, I don't know, but yeah, I'll be back soon. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for the delay. You will not believe how dry my mouth get with the meds. I drank some water and then like I refilled my thing, and I've been drinking water and I'm like, okay, but I gotta leave water. I gotta leave enough water for me to read without me having to stand up and fill my thing again. But like I'm like mouth dry. Desperate need of water. But anyway, we shall proceed. I said I still can go for another 2 hours or so. So we shall give it a try. At least another hour, depending on how much progress I made and how hungry I get. At least another hour, hopefully 2. So maybe we can finish this in 2 or 3 streams max. So yeah. Woohoo! Let's go. Part 4. The center cannot hold. Some stories start with something breaking apart. In the cup of the cosmos, we must reconstitute a cube of sugar. Okay. I see. The miniature entropic welcomes the newcomer and they step up. Hubble's steps were far lighter than before. Rather, the steps resemble more of a gate now. Alright, Harmonic Minor, thank you. Thank you for dropping by. I shall see you next time. Thank you. She steps into the spaceship's floors, maintaining a state of levitation, even under the effects of the gravity system. It is of its gravity, whether natural or artificial, is only a minuscule part of her authority's reach, something for her to toy with. We meet again. Is it again? Hubble. Fresnel. A foreign gaze, a foreign set of mannerisms. As certain as we were that this was the very person we once knew, we can still sense that she has undergone a staggering change. Familiar yet strange. Not just her to us, but us to her as well. Is something the matter? Looking at me like that? Or have we not spoken in some time? She flashes out that smile again, buzzing with interest. The sheer alienness in the act divulges her countless indifferences. About farewells, about reunions, about protection and sacrifice. As if they are not more than trifles to her. Why do you... Don't get too close, Fresnel. I cannot fully control myself. Is it a result of the entropization? Hubble, do you feel unwell anywhere? Does the entropization hurt? Shh. Orbits cross, meet and detach. To meet again in the eternal night is not a bizarre thing. Now, I am not like a slumbering star. I shift through dormant orbits until I meet my alien star. Will the moniker of Darkstar Hubble be to your liking? Darkstar Hubble? Fresnel slowly repeats the name and earns an approving nod from Hubble. A reunion differing from expectations extinguishes Fresnel's excitement. She lightly repeats it again and falls into wordlessness. Welcome back, Hubble. Please do allow me to call you that still. I think that it was Fresnel will... I think that is what Fresnel will have wanted as well. I forgot entropization makes them more dramatic. Entropization turns everyone into theater kids to different degrees. I clear my throat and attempt to communicate with her. Hubble's demeanor is far more disorderly than before.
Unlike our other friends tortured by the tormentous process of improvisation, Hubble remains very much herself in regard to her state. We have not been apart for too long. We are here for you, in fact. When people have reunions, they often intuitively say, "Thank goodness you're alright." In this situation, though, alright swims in my mind. I cannot bring myself to say it so easily. But moving past the pleasantries, I wanted to ask, is your body truly fine? Do you feel any discomfort? Celestial's body's density and structure are all very normal. But something always feels missing. Hubble's face is covered with ostensibly real perplexion, and her thoughts appear to be clouded. She puts a finger to her chin, her thinking countenance showing a little bit of rarely before seen naivete. To think of it, there are quite a few parts missing. Memories, body, how it feels to be in control. From memory data to sensory input from the world, what remains is largely faraway glimmers and remnant fuzzy shades. So the memories are also... well, what do you remember? As we can see, at least you still remember us, even this little guy. Squee? Does anyone here talks theater, kid? Hello, Persicaria, we need a... I know duping maybe could help. The miniature entropic crawls up the surface of Hubble's legs, clambering onto her arm and reclining there placidly like a small animal. Well, about that, I can't say no either. About you, I can remember so very little. The past traces are fragments and broken, and the future's tracks are murky and unclear. I patiently await the time when I might meet my alien star. Alien star? Isn't that a YouTube thing going on? With like songs and like very love and hopey as well. Lots of loves and hope. Quickly catching on to her terminology, I move to ask further, but Hubble moves on of her own accord. Her words do not seem to have any real goal, simply a meandering walk through her thoughts. The position of time, the whispers of nebulae, meaningless to me. Whether it's a professor or Fresnel, it's all remnant pieces. They tremble in my narrow cloud, humming, radiating strange light, but I know not what meaning they hold. Fragmented starlight still shines. Interesting, is it not? Hubble's hand reaches towards her chest, as if there was really a dazzling nebula nested there, as hot as a fervently beating heart. She looks to me, then to Fresnel, without a hint of excitement at this reunion. Hello, Doc, welcome. As for the other matters, I dare say they are scattered here, in this stream. They make a space no longer empty. I'm quite fond of it. You're saying this star sphere is a dream? Is it not? Though it matters not, what I see when I am asleep and awake are growing more and more alike. When I simply look upon things like this, it makes me drowsy. What are you here for? Wherever it is, it appears interesting. Might you take me along with you? She delivers her missive with a light smile. That starlight never seems to truly suffuse her eyes. Her voice is alluring, like a vortex in the midst of a nightly voyage, stirring and gathering, threatening to swallow all that is in sight. The feelings of familiarity is all too transient, and an air of peril soon arrives. What are your intentions? In truth, these things shouldn't be said to friends, but seeing as we just had an altercation, I cannot help but wonder about your thoughts. apprehensive towards a planet that's undergone transformation. An enlightened star is charming indeed. Your light is a little harsh on the eyes, but perhaps it is that light which captivates gazes of longing. Relax. I harbor no ill will towards you, at least for the time being. Won't you welcome me as well, Fresnel? Ever since Hubble interrupted her, Fresnel has maintained her silence. But with this turn of events, apart from her low spirits, something else seems to lurk in her eyes. Not a lot I wanted to say, but I can't bring myself to get any of it out. If that's what you want to hear right now, then welcome back. Welcome back, Hubble. I miss you. We all have. Fresnel gives Hubble a smile not so different from before, a million unspoken words hidden beneath. She extends her hands towards Hubble, giving a slow but firm hug. Perhaps there are many problems between us that we'll have to solve now, but it's alright. We'll work through all of it.
Hey, Doc! Thank you for joining the membership again. Thank you. How much hotter is Hubble? She's very hot.
We will, surely. Do your very best, then. I'm looking forward to it. Hubble returns the embrace in a superficial manner. She immediately rises to her full height afterward, as if suddenly recalling something. Right. Don't have so many friends from outside patching here. It's hardly proper not to offer greetings when engaging in interplanetary communication.
You're getting a lot more abrasive, Hubble.
Judging by your tone, you're not quite a new friend. It's a shame, though. This nebula is thoroughly dark to me. Might you introduce her, Professor?
This is Antonina. Our journey here to find you has been much assisted by her and the agents of UTN.
I see. Thank you, Antonina. What a shame. I truly cannot remember.
Before you and Fresnel departed for UTN, I never imagined that we will be in such circumstances when we speak again. But looking at the state you are in now, chances are you don't know what I'm talking about. That's what I'm good. No need for one of those emotional sins.
How very much like you, Antonina. Weren't you worrying a few days earlier?
Let's get to business first, Professor, if you would.
That's something I haven't seen in ages. Squeak! Antonina subtly glares at the Minotaur Entropic, still nested on Hubble, displaying to us another information panel. This time, however, it is not the expedition-related data, but the more important.
This is my data.
To be precise, various data records you've left behind, compared with the data we acquired from briefly scanning you just then. To be frank, I think your standing remains dubious, because judging by the signals, you're entropic. I don't know how you maintain sanity, but to me, that's nothing more than a passing illusion. Rather, are you still really Hubble?
Smoke and mirrors, maybe? Who's to say?
No matter what, Hubble has well and truly returned to us for now. Of course, the entropic issue is very much real, and we can't take her back to the Oasis just like this. There's also the issue of the entire star sphere that we must take care of. Oh, capable Meister of the Ways, Antonina, do you have any ideas? Better delete her to be safe. Control-Alt-Delete.
Don't you speak to me in that tone ever again. I do have a proposal, but we'll need Hubble's cooperation.
Mine?
Eye shadows, it's definitely eye shadows. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Definitely.
Our understanding of you is still shallow, since we've only been able to run basic scans. If possible, I'd like you to link up to the analysis instruments mounted on board. I'd like to see how stable your status is.
Like this. Hubble reaches towards an instrument on the control panel, and a dim light reminiscent of an older era soon emerges from the screen. Is there a problem?
There are so many. I'm not sure where to start. But ignoring all of the secondary issues, there's something here that is very strange.
Do tell.
Every entropic as a whole, complete entropic core, even that little thing in your lab. If we follow and apply common principles to your entropized state, you too should have a similar core. But you don't.
Entropic core. It's not on me. Then it might be asleep in this dreamscape as well. If you are indeed speaking of the same star as me. A strange core, huh?
As you told us earlier, you've only retained a part of your memory data, and if the other segments are indeed spread throughout this star sphere. Professor, Fresnel, we have another task we need to complete, of the highest priority.
Oh, that one wasn't that long.
Alright, now I need to do more stages. Need to use more things. Or maybe can I get away with it with what I have? Hell yeah! Woohoo! Let's fucking go! We unlock until part 7. Not bad. Alright. Part 5. Half moon eclipse. What degree of lunar eclipse can be seen by the naked eye? Savor the hidden shadow through the lens. Green was held back. For now. The highest priority. You mean that we need to retrieve Hubble's entropic core, yes?
Correct. Acquiring her core will allow us to grasp the situation fastest, both with regards to Hubble and this star sphere. Far more efficient than trekking through this place part by part. Can you manage it?
I'm willing to go through with it, but what do you think, Professor? So long as Hubble is here, I don't believe it will be difficult to locate the core. Do you remember? Greater entropics respond to the cores of other entropics, and can even identify their origin. Ah, but Lind, I heard. Yes, so Hubble may be able to unearth where her core is, or at least have some way to sense it. Myself? Hubble, you might not mind too much yourself, but could I ask you to fill out where your core is? Or rather, the entire Starsphere's core. You really do know quite a lot, Professor. It is but merely conjecture. The heat-dead entropics that attack UTN had control in a radius over a variety of celestial bodies, and their control appears to be target-oriented. But you are different. I haven't seen you manipulate the bodies yourself yet, but in this star sphere, the distribution of bodies has completely diverged from UTN's basic laws. Combining that with your method of locomotion, your control is complete, no? I will think that this entire starsphere is more or less completely within your range of cognizance. I suspected of the professor. What a pleasant surprise. My subconscious has been telling me that you possess great might. But that is not quite what I see. So, Professor, I'm very curious about you. Where exactly does this star shine from? I think I can now glimpse inwards a little.
Well, you see.
Well, am I right or not? Haven't I already told you all about it, Professor? This is my dream. Wherever I am, it shall also be. But tracking down the core you speak of may not be so simple. It is a very special star. I cannot fully grasp it either. From a slumber to awakening, from shattered to fused. Except if it approaches you of its own will, this little spaceship will never chase it down.
That makes it troublesome. Though I never expected this whole business to go smoothly.
There's a long road ahead. If not even Hubble herself can get a hold of it, that angle of approach becomes less viable. But I suppose we should at least give it a shot. Hubble, could you provide its coordinates? So what if I could? Each and every star in this stream wanders on their own path. By the time you arrive, they are in another place altogether.
Hubble's right. Even within the reach of the spaceship's basic sensory systems, we can observe celestial bodies moving in ways that do not follow conventional astronomy. Forcibly chasing after something outside of our control is hardly likely to yield results. Crap.
At least we made it into the star sphere. Antonina, don't be so hasty. Let me think. I'm more or less a layman, but since there's an express route of chasing down the entropic core, chances are that there's an original dumb way. Do I recall what our original plan was upon returning to Yutian?
Collect what Hubble data fragment may exist, and explore the star sphere retrieving lost aliens? You mean we just proceed as originally planned?
Finding Hubble is a pleasant surprise, but we do not need to place all our hopes on her again. What do we have to lose from treating it as a new exploratory venture? Our current progress is no worse than our prior projections. It's okay to relax a little, Antonina. Hubble's back at our side.
Fine. At such times we can only use the dumb option. First, utilize the spaceship's onboard analysis functions and explore this star sphere properly. Joanna will be finished with her business soon, and her administrative permissions can help us expand our search radius. Seeing as Hubble still has other data missing, we'd better have a good look for her memories in space here.
About that, I think we can ask Hubble. Hubble? I turn around, intending to inquire Hubble's opinion, only to find her leaning into her seat's handrest. Idle. No, rather than idling, she's more dozing off. Shh, she fell asleep. Just then, while you were talking, she suddenly got sleepy, just like before. This sight is a familiar one. Hubble always tended to doze off during the somewhat dull operational meetings, and with how easily she feels boredom in her current state, it follows that she will simply fall asleep, with little regard for anything else. Observing her peaceful sleeping countenance, I cannot help but lower my voice. Shall we give her some time? Speaking of, it's been ages since we've seen Hubble sleep at a meeting. I reminisce. Reminisce. She's awake. Do you reminisce of the past me? Were you not fully asleep, or did we disturb you? I was asleep. I cannot say I was disturbed either. The border between stupor and lucidity was never well defined. What was I like before? Did I enjoy sleep as much as I do now? I remember so very little. Not quite. It's more like you had no love for dull things. That does sound similar. Is that related to the unchanging part? I'm getting curious. Well, have you escaped from the topic of those plans and analysis? We have, yes. I'm not about to chase down Scattered Starlight. Interested? To collect my data? Will you put me back together? You can understand it as such. Of course, seeing as this is your choice. Howell picks up the miniature entropic, giving her a rub, smiling with a lethargic demeanor. There almost seems to be more to her words, layers of ambiguity hiding roots and stamps. Sounds interesting. Where will you decide to go then? You choose, Hubble. These are your memories. Antonio has made the search terminal available, and we can use you as a reference point for any scattered data we pick up. No matter where we start, we'll end up trekking all over this star sphere, because we still have agents' data to retrieve. Then, let's just go to the closest place. Where it'll be, I wonder.
Build your own Hubble from parts, got it? Yo, look at these mini agents. Oh no. They're entropized.
Guard. 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 Space station. Then,
As we navigate past a brown body soaking with storms, a red planet wandering where no life thrives, and a blue world covered in rolling oceans, we reach our destination. An unimpressive thing lie before us. Remnant pieces of a space station scrap are piled together in a disorderly heap, surrounded by a guard troop of entropized agents. Professor, we're here. We've never seen this one before. Looks a little like a moon, but its orbit is somewhat strange.
Let me see. It occupies and rotates on a very special orbit. Appears as if it was placed here on purpose. If you observe from a certain static angle, the observer can witness the full scope of lunar phase variation known to humanity within a short period, as well as various astronomical phenomena related to the moon.
Probably something I made while I was dreaming. Looks beautiful. Are my memories down there?
It will appear so. Look, there's an icon on the star sphere monitoring panel. I think it should be right in the middle, beneath that pile of electronic scrap.
Shall we descend and have a look now? I think it should be this way.
Howell seizes Fresnel's hand, awkwardly dragging her towards the cabin door via which she entered. Wait, Hubble. Let me put on PPE and...
You mean those? There's no need.
Hubble looks towards the spacesuits and helmets by the exit with confusion in her eyes, gesturing at the outside.
There's no need for those hindrances in this dream.
But only you can do that. I can't, Hubble. Give me a moment.
You can, too.
You can move in space without any of your protection?
That's right. Just like you say, I'm an entropic. This is a dream of my very own. So long as I permit it, it shall come to pass.
And everyone was silent. It still feels strange, and it still sounds dangerous. Even based on the presumption that we are accepting an entropic's... An entropic's what? Wait a second, what the fuck does this mean? Well, tan. Weltanschauung. The German word literally means worldview. It combines Welt, meaning world, with Anschauung, meaning view. I see. And what's with the sudden German, Commander? Why they couldn't just use worldview or no? No, they had to slap a German word in there. Is it Fresnel German or something? I don't know. Is she? I actually do not remember. And yeah, we are the ones talking here. And I guess the commander does speak German, but still.
Even based on the presumption that we are accepting an entropic's Weltanschauung,
I probably butchered that, by the way.
this is a little bit too outlandish to me.
Actually, is there a... Where's the thing on like how the fuck to pronounce it? Pronunciation. Weltanschauung. Weltanschauung, something like that. Anyway,
This is a little bit too outlandish to me. What about the professor? If what you said is true, then maybe the professor can also... Fresnel talks at Hubble, and the two contemplate me for a moment. Hubble thinks for a moment, and soon nods. She is about to agree, but Antonina's voice on the other end of the call rings out, with a hint that her patience is at its end.
You two will do. If they're gone, who's going to pilot the ship? That little thing that's barely win out milk?
wait, it drinks milk? It eats?
Hubble looks downward to the miniature entropic still reclining in her lap. The small creature cooperatively clambers onto her shoulder, brandishing its tentacles at Antonina on the screen, apparently high in spirits.
What are you being so smug for? Seriously. Whatever, go get down there. The little guy's staying behind. Don't cause more trouble by running around.
Then, let's go, Hubble.
Probably a Chinese proverb of some sort. What the wind of milk? No, I've heard that expression being used. Unless you mean the Weltanschauung. But I mean that's German. But I heard that phrase being used. Like it's like very young. A baby.
Part 6. Gravitic Resistance. Her feelings and obligations are tearing her apart. A faint hint of bitterness spreads through the night. On the planet's surface, a few Enterprise agents patrol around on set tracks.
Guard. Space station. Guard. Data.
Professor, we successfully landed. The soil here is a little soft. Wait, why can't we still hear sound?
There is thin air on the surface of each and every planet. In imitation of the Earth.
One can only hear their own singing while stargazing. That is the case, no? This place is built with more rigor than expected. Ahead of us, Shuano, are those the agents we're looking for?
Yes.
But why are they seemingly to be guarding Hubble's data?
I suspect it's because that Enterprise agents who really possess permission tend to be entangled with special data fragments. The very final commands they receive ought to have been to protect important data. These agents are still executing their orders, but in their Enterprise state, they cannot distinguish what this data exactly is.
Still in a state of bewilderment. Unexpectedly adorable. This degree of improvisation. Shuano, any chance they can still be retrieved?
It's too late. 2 of them are special models. The space station they were responsible for is still in an inactive state.
Space station. Space station. Space station.
As if latching onto a keyword, the previously idly meandering agents all turn to look. Not knowing that their space station is long gone, that the world's reset button was hit long ago. These agents still faithfully carry out their duties. Their Enterprise shelves still live in a sector not yet reset. Just like Hubble and this star sphere, they are frozen in the instant mass was neutralized. This improvisation... No, none of that means anything now. I saw them when we came across one of the space stations. Will we really have to deal with all of them?
The moment improvisation sets in, there is no turning back. These things are decided by the neural structure Fresnel. It fills me with regrets as well, but we must play our roles.
Roll. Roll. Defend space station. Repel invaders. Repel invaders.
Oh no, they're coming!
The agents seem to have come to some collective agreement. Rather, they are driven by instincts instilled in them by improvisation. Turning the desire to protect into belligerence and hostility, they found a new enemy, closing in on Fresnel and Hubble.
Who's going to take it to the back of the barn? Us.
So this is how it has to go. Lula will have to... Professor, please command us. I'm here. Battle is upon us in the blink of an eye. Hubble only floats off to the side, lazily pursing her lips. Drifting starcrafts are always exceptionally charming, even if they are occasionally hindrances. Easily pushed to the side when the time comes to. So, shall we clear out this scrap first? Yes. Shall we do it together, Hubble? Together? Just like before. Regrettably, I do not recall that either. However... Hubble nonchalantly raises a hand, her telescope unfurling and turning towards the approaching Enterprise agents. In but a moment, peculiar light bursts from the planet's surface. As the starlight spirals and swings, the meandering agents transform into glowing shards.
Yu-Tian, glory!
As if they were defending Yu-Tian, even as their compatriots fall one by one, the remaining agents charge toward Hubble without any hesitation, activating their self-destruct sequences. Explosions flare up, only to be pushed backward by resurgent air. That'll do, right? Without warning, the battle was at an end. The shattered Enterprise agents slowly disappear on the planet's surface, just like the star crabs Hubble spoke of.
Hubble casually flexing her new kit, real.
So that's star crabs. Still carrying out their orders, even after entropization. Beautiful, no? Or is it an abrupt end to things not to your taste? No, it is beautiful, till everything is at its end. Fresnel is still a little absent-minded with matters coming to an end so quickly. I just can't quite bring myself to do it, Hubble. Work is one thing, and emotions are another. After all, they hung on until the very end of UTN. These are things we have all seen. Even if I understand our responsibilities on this journey, but if we have you here, maybe they... Hubble is clearly confounded. She fidgets with a starlight between her fingertips, projecting it towards Fresnel's hair. I do not understand. Is this not what you came here for? Why is it that you reach the star's very being, but only become more distressed? Fresnel cannot muster up a response in the moment. The Enterprise agent's figures fades as she instinctively walks forward, removing the upper part of the scrap heap with a light touch. A warm light is nestled beneath, bits and pieces of ambient light connecting it with Hubble. I think we found it. Is that it?
Let me have a look at the instruments. Yeah, that's it. We don't know which part it is exactly, but it is without doubt Hubble's memories. Thank goodness this fragment hasn't been entropized yet, though this is pretty short. There's too little information to cross-check. Hubble, try to absorb it. I'll be keeping an eye on things live.
Hubble approaches the orb of light curiously, and it slides into her body as if fusing with her. As data flows inward, images seem to flash up in succession against a backdrop of dim light. This is... when the Oasis was invaded? Fight them when you have to, but share your ducks. They're innocent. No, bring them along. I hate ducks. Don't argue. Everyone, please follow the shooting star as you fall back. A lost part of... me? I think I recognize...
Looks like the memory data took concrete form. If even such a short segment of data can be materialized, then the complete stretch of data ought to be clearer.
Oh no. Oh no. Is this what you meant by Hubble's face? Oh no. I'm not having any of that.
My head hurts a bit. Hubble, does this data affect you in any way? It seems temporary.
Hubble blinks repeatedly, returning to normal soon.
It's but a shred of stardust, but there certainly is something there.
So long as you're fine, it will not be worth burdening your body. In any case, we have two pieces of news. The good news is that with this piece of data for comparison, the analysis system will be able to verify data integrity much faster, and will be able to work efficiently from now on.
Sounds like there's some bad news waiting for us. I have to leave to eat. Alright, Sharon, enjoy your food. Thank you for dropping by.
The bad news is that we must move as fast as possible from now on and prioritize more complete pieces of data. Just then, the rate at which this starsphere is enterprising increased, and the scattered Enterprise agents are likely to become stronger as well. If things continue, I worry that Hubble's remaining memory data will be enterprised and desynthesized too.
What?
The heat death program enterprises a planet from the inside out, and we cannot directly observe which planets are silently changing. By the time we receive a signal, the transformation is always already in progress, sometimes even finished.
So that's what caused Yutian to be thrown into jeopardy.
This starsphere is even more dangerous than expected. Please be cautious. I'm worried that by the time you find a part of the data, it'll be too far gone.
Antonina unravels an information panel, informing us that the starsphere inner regions were changing at unimaginable rates. This is speed of entropization. Hubble, we're running out of time. We need to leave right now. Why are we in such a rush? Is entropization not a good thing? There might be obstructive star cramps that must be removed. But if I was never entropized, I will never be able to do all this, no? We cannot allow your entropization to continue, Hubble. The road is not one that can be controlled. That road is not one that can be controlled. If you stray too far, we'll lose you for good. Fresnel, entropization was always a most delightful, eternal affair. You said you cannot yet experience it. What I can see now is no less than a new world. Never so hostile towards entropization, but always so cordial towards an entropized me. Your thoughts are as difficult to fathom as a boundless chart of stars. In your eyes, just what is the difference between me and those entropics bound for destruction? I don't see you that way. The air grows heavy. I interject. We can find the answer together. We do not need to come up with an answer now, Hubble. To Fresnel, to me, to the entirety of the Oasis, you're important. Not every problem can be immediately solved in a way that is pleasing to everyone. But at least with your quandary, your little guy's existence is enough to answer some of it. Isqui? I know you had doubts, but we can slowly seek those answers together. While we are in that process, I will ask you to contemplate our emotions well. How dazzling. I must be feeling the gravity of a star. Professor, you truly are hefty. Hefty? Gravity is determined by mass. A professor that has a very special pull must have a stunning mass, too. With gravity like an alien star. Professor, you must have an instant where you're inclined towards collapse, too, right? But, as Professor says, we can take it slow. Hubble turns around, lightly caressing Fresnel's hair, flicking the stardust embedded in her hair into the air.
Oh, we just called you fat, she did.
Every star must meet its end eventually, after all. The same goes for this one. Are you still sad? I'm sorry, Hubble. Looks like I really hit you hard. In what remains of my memories, you don't seem like that sort of person. I'm not sure why, but I'd rather not see you in such poor spirits. Is there anything I can do to make you happy? I ought to have been the one doing that for you, but I must have messed up. What does that matter? Let me think. How about we continue our scavenger hunt? Track down those pieces of important data like you originally hoped. If memories tend to float and meander like the subconscious does, I will wager that they gather around astronomical marvels. Fresnel raises her head, finding Hubble's smiling face in her view. On the vast canvas behind her, a comet flickers in the faraway distance.
Aww. Sorry, that was a really good stretch. I think we're gonna read part 7 and leave it up to here, and we should be good to finish tomorrow, hopefully. I might start early tomorrow, since I need to wake up an hour earlier anyway. But yeah, let's just finish reading what I have unlocked for now. So let's go to part 7, Absorbing Recollections. She is bound by the memories that belong to her. She can stand the fragrance of the past, but not see into it. Super speed reading, hell yeah.
There it is. Professor, we've caught up.
Theoretically, that would be impossible. However, in this place, chemo assessment will be the first thing you ought to discard.
This is truly unbelievable. We chased after a comet and successfully hovered on top of it. I did not think it was possible either. When the professor suggested it, I was as surprised as you. This is not the real world, after all. If Hubble wills it, chances are it'd be harder to find something we can do. If the alien star's influence was to proliferate, and starlight to coalesce more, perhaps that will be true. I would hope that is true. We haven't caught sight of your entropic core yet, but this progress could certainly be worse. Besides, we have the help of the sector's administrator, Shuano. If the signals are true, there are Enterprise agents here too, yes?
Correct. But the situation is different. Akuma's structure is quite different. With the interference of the comet's tail, it is difficult for us to observe their exact positions. It will be better for you to prioritize locating the memory data. We've collected some scraps on the way here, but it's far from enough. The surface of the comet's core bears a very complete set of memory data. Likely a segment very important to Hubble. Entropization is still ticking away. Protect it well.
We will. You sure are enthusiastic, Fresnel. It is not often that we get to see such splendid sights. Shall we?
Hubble grabs Fresnel's hand, descending from the spaceship as if going on a leisurely stroll. No support, no tether, no instruments, quietly drifting through space, till they are submerged in the comet's hazy light.
Wait, this is... These responses... Professor, hold on! You're going to be sucked in by the materialized memory data.
Oh no. Too late.
Ah, no good. Running out of operants. If this continues, before I find the narrow cloud sector.
Damn.
Torch mission in progress. Irregular agent detected.
They found me. Croc, 12 o'clock. I guess shield.
Numerous irregular agents detected.
Simo, covering fire. Soul, break through the originally planned direction. The relentless sanctifiers have their attention drawn away. Power breaks away in a sorry state and is met with a series of strange figures. We finally found it. Persicaria, we'll patch Hubble up a bit. What will do, Professor? Don't worry, I'll administer operants right away. Thank goodness. Hubble's state doesn't seem too bad. It's good to see that you're well, Hubble. The battle will be over soon, and you'll be safe. Oh, I forgot the self-introduction. I am the Exile's current leader, the Oasis Professor. You can call me Kuruko. This is when the Oasis had just been established and we were still searching for our allies. We had just searched out Hubble's location and moved to rescue her. That's the meeting, huh? Looks like a rather messy affair. But the professor was reliable even back then. To be enemies with the Sanctifiers. Are the Sanctifiers enemies, not entropics? Why were we fighting? Was I an entropic back then as well? I don't get it. Professor, today's inspection reports are complete. Seems like there was a time skip. Thank you, Hubble. Has life at the Oasis been agreeable to you? Better than imagined. Operants occasionally run short, but it certainly is preferable to roaming than all sounds. I am occasionally troubled though. Ominous stars are kept away, but the auspicious ones are scattered too. Professor, could I request additional fieldwork time? Please be assured I won't do anything out of line. Don't push yourself so, Hubble. If my assumptions are correct, you are going to look for Fresnel, right? We picked up on some signals recently that we suspect to be related. I have faith we will find her soon. Thank goodness for that. Thank you, Professor. Perhaps I have presented myself as far too impulsive. Professor, do you not think my motives are selfish? The data seems to become somewhat damaged and disorganized. The memory's visualization ripples, like the surface of water. Professor, I remember back then during this conversation, my answer was... It is a good thing to be selfish at times. The vast majority of people here have a variety of personal desires. People they are attached to, things they bind sentiments to. This is well and good, Hubble. Finding those we have lost and rebuilding the home we once had. That is why the exiles are gathered here. Is that so? The more we interact, the more you drift from where I imagined you to be, Professor. What do you think I will be like? We shall leave that secret with the stars for now. In truth, apart from worrying about lost friends, I am truly lost. In my Grasea, there is no real night or day, no inscription of time as the heavens pirouette. At first, it was merely losing touch with the rhythm of life we had in reality. And then, I even lost my original meaning in life. I don't know what I truly can do, save for elementary daily tasks. Can I really still call myself an astronomy researcher? Perhaps it is not proper to have such outpourings at you, Professor. My apologies. Don't worry, I understand your perplexity, Hubble. Perhaps we can find meaning and enjoyment in life anew. Say, if there are no heavens that turn above us, why can't we create them? Create them? This is how we are to thrive in the cloud, Hubble. Perhaps you haven't realized yet. Only in the cloud can we paint the world however we desire with operands. There are of course certain rules we must abide by, but many things are much simpler to achieve compared to reality. You mean to say? If there is no sky, why not speak to mine? We can adjust operand distribution in the weather system, introduce phenomena to weather, and simulate the real world's night sky. In the oasis, so long as you know what the real sky looks like, we can replicate it. Even change it to whatever we feel like. If we simply follow the day-night cycle, we can put a starry sky above the oasis, perhaps even more beautiful than the real one. Sounds not bad at all. A hint of longing springs up in Hubble's eyes. She fiddles with the miniature planets at her fingertips, and follows my train of thought. Perhaps I could even build a special room for experiencing the environment of space, allowing everyone to experience what spacewalking feels like. I've always wished to wander amongst the stars. You can make that wish a reality. Whether it's a spacewalking to your heart's desire, or tweaking a starry sky however you want. Whether you are lucid or lost in a chaotic dream. I see now. That's fantastic. This way, maybe I'll be able to realize some of the things I never had a chance to do at Dr. Vera's side. Dr. Vera? I recall from your files that she was your employer? Yes, and she taught me a great many things. Without her help, my first novel would not have come into existence so quickly. And it was that novel that... Professor!
Wake up! Stop watching that! But the movie!
The data that comes afterwards soon becomes interspersed with stutters, and the visualized memory stirs. That hazy sense of reflection at its pool soon begins to fade, and I gradually return to my senses. In the comet's icy tail, Hubble and Fresnel figures fade in and out of view, and they seem to remain immersed in the data link's wonders.
Professor, you're finally awake. Listen to me. This piece of memory data is far too large and began to reflow the moment Hubble approached. All three of you were stuck in at first, but thankfully you got free pretty quickly. There's little time to talk. The Enterprise agent signal have already appeared. They're almost on you.
Damn. Antonina, don't be a party pooper. Yeah, Antonina, come on. Come on, Antonina, don't be that way. 85% to next chapter. Alright, I shall do some farming today. And can I do another 10 pull? I can. So tomorrow I'll have everything unlocked. So we can just jump in and read. Damn it. Damn it.
教授さんが欲しがっているものでリコに用意できないものなどのわーい
This is not the pool. Truly. But yeah, we shall leave it up to here. I gotta use my keys. Let's go back here for just a little bit. See you tomorrow in Canarad. Thank you for dropping by. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it up to here too because I'm also pretty sleepy. I had to wake up early yesterday. I had to wake up early today. And I did go to bed last night later than I should have. So I slept like probably like 4 or 5 hours at most. So I'm quite ippy. Also, I'm very hungry, so I'm like starving. And since there's no stages, I can't like eat while I do a stage. The only downside of there not being stages. I have a bad feeling about how this is gonna end. I have no good feelings about anything going on. I'm so worried. But we shall finish this tomorrow, hopefully. As I said, stay tuned. I might start maybe half an hour early or so, since I'll be up earlier. I'll probably try to go to bed earlier today also, so I won't be as EP tomorrow. But yeah, I am starving. It's probably also the lack of sleep. When I don't sleep much, I just get very, very hungry. I like hungry to the point that my stomach is hurting a little bit of how hungry I am. So yeah, I'm gonna go have some food and enjoy the rest of my day. I'll remember to do some farming so we can jump right into the story tomorrow and just read until the end. But for now, thank you guys so much for coming. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you had fun. Remember to stay safe and stay hydrated. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you guys next time. So bye bye.